here. All right. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to our first edition of Chubby Life. I'm your host, Chubby Pudge, and we got our boy, Mr. Adam Kohler, on the line. But first, hey, we got to thank the people that pay the bills. So, big shout out to Brad and Sarah Munn from Jackson, Wellston, Oak Hill, and MacArthur McDonald's, and we can't thank them enough. Hey, thank you, Gillum Insurance. Your boy here, Jason Gillum. Look me up. Give me a call, 740-395-0190. How about our boys over at AP Prep? Make sure you look those up for your kids' athlete performance preparation. You can get them assessed. Look them up at apprep.info. Our boys over at Geiger Brothers, we can't thank you for always being on our side. Scott, Eric, and the boys, even you, Hickey. But look them up, 740-286-0800. And our fine folks, newcomers on the game, Nimco Construction, Ray Chapman and the gang, all them boys over there at Nimco. So give them a call for all your propane and gas needs over there at 740-596-4477. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chub Life with our special guest, Adam Kohler, this evening.
Hey, Pudge, what time is it?
It's time for the Chubby Guys podcast.
Woo!
Kohler, what's going on?
Hey, Jason, what's going on, man? How are you this evening?
Well, if I was any better, they'd call me Eddie Hughes.
I'm not sure if anyone can do that good.
That's right. I'm bummed, man. We haven't been able to ride much here lately. Kohler, so for anybody that doesn't know, Adam Kohler is one of the guys that I have been doing a lot of mountain biking with here lately. He's one of the guys that has been teaching me, him and Ryan Prater and Jubal and the guys. So I just wanted to give you a call and let you bring us up to speed. I've been bummed we haven't been able to ride, so we were getting in a lot before the first of the year.
Yeah, we were packing the miles in, nice weekly, and now we've gotten into the depths of winter, unfortunately, and sitting in a scenario of Ohio hell, of snow and rain and 8 degrees. So, greatest time of the year, right?
Yes. So for a lot of people that don't know, and this is brand new show that we're coming out with, just trying to keep people active. I've really enjoyed it. Hey, if it's not your thing, you don't have to listen to it. But if it's something that you're looking to get into, you and I, how old are you, Kohler? 37?
I am 37.
37. I'm 42. You're in better shape than I am, obviously, but this is something that you and I really enjoy. And I think that anybody who enjoys a little bit of adrenaline, packed in with some exercise, packed in with a hell of a good time, I think this is something they would enjoy, don't you? And we're talking about hitting the trails in the woods, mountain biking. Truly, in the truest form of the word, mountain biking, correct?
Yes, absolutely. The rawest form possible. So, yeah, I mean, going into that, you've got, people from all walks, that come out to the mountain biking, which has been really, really exciting over the last 2 to 3 years, continuing to grow the community of mountain bikers, from people that have never been on a bike, people that never thought about being on a bike, to, people that bike regularly and people that travel, from all over the state down into our area to mountain bike here in Chillicothe at Great Seal. Not only that, but the surrounding areas, as you're, very well aware of, down at, Gateway and Gatewood and Chestnut Hill, and all the surrounding Southern Ohio area just continues to grow rapidly. So, you've got hundreds and hundreds of miles of trails that are being built. These guys are out working hard, they're taking care and maintaining the trails. Obviously, Bailey's, which a lot of people listening to the show are going to be familiar with as well. I don't remember what the expansion was on that, but I know that they're pushing towards getting into the 80-mile range. So there's just so much to offer.
Is where they're headed.
Yeah, so 88 miles. So there's just a ton to offer for anybody, that at all different skill levels. Anybody that wants to come out and try it, anybody that lines up with a rider that's been out, that can teach the skill, to your point, have a great time, ride at any pace. And it's something really special that we all get to be a part of.
Well, let's take, I know we were going to talk about a certain topic, but I think maybe this first thing, maybe we shift gears and let's go back, because I get asked this all the time. I've been at this now, I think I've been biking roughly 20 years, off and on. I've owned a bike for 20 years. Always wanted to bike, really been biking about 2 years. How long were you into this before you really decided that you were going to mountain bike? So, I mean, I guess where I'm going with this is, I get asked a lot, and I know you do too. How do people get into this sport, and how much is it going to cost? Because, like I had somebody ask me the other day, and they said, hey, we're looking to get into mountain biking. Where should we go? And I said, well, and how should I have answered that? Because I said, what's your budget? And they said, well, about $300 a piece. Can they do that for $300 a piece? And go?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think you can. I mean, mountain biking is, a fairly expensive hobby and a fairly expensive sport to get into, depending on what riding level you're doing it at. But again, if you're a beginner or a first time, you got a couple different avenues. You got the ability to, a lot of people that are in the biking community that have, maybe an additional bike that you'd be able to, buddy up with, them take you out on the trail, get some experience underneath your belt, and then make a decision on whether or not it's actually something that you truly are going to continue to want to do. And then at that point, make the decision, spend the money. Outside of that, you've got areas like Pink Bike, where, you can go onto rider gear of anything, whether or not it be, protective wear to, riding jerseys, the bicycles, parts, so forth and so on. There's a lot of those channels that are out on social media, or of course, Facebook Marketplace, or a lot of the groups that are within inside the mountain biking community, again, at some of these trails, like Bailey's or Horns Hill and things like that, where a lot of people are sharing, pre-owned inventory and things that they're looking to, move on from to get into something new or something different. So there's available opportunities out there for you to be able to pick up some for a reasonable price.
Well, but I'm saying, if you're that person that doesn't know about those things, so I was 2 years in the game before I even knew about Bob Evans really and Bailey's and all these. So if you were brand new in the game, where would you, if you had $300 to go buy a mountain bike, where would you go, and what could you expect out of that machine?
Sure. So I would definitely try again to line up with, a local bike shop if you've got one in your area. If not, obviously, Googling the surrounding area bike shop. There's a bunch of them around, obviously, Southern Ohio. Our good buddy, obviously, Jubal Davis owns SVC. You have Rivers Bend Bike Shop here in Chillicothe. And as you move north, you got Paradise Garage and a multitude of different places.
Over in Athens.
Psychopath. Yep, exactly. So you got a lot of opportunities to be able to walk in the front door and start asking questions. Well, I think people are going to have experience in those areas.
I think a lot of times, though, some bike shops, and I don't think Jubal ever does it, but and I haven't really been to too many. Paradise Garage didn't do this to me, but I have been in bike shops where they make you feel like you have to buy that super nice bike, and there is no such thing as a nice mountain bike for $300. Where I think a lot of people I think a bike shop would do better if that guy could come to him and say, hey man, I got $300 to spend on a bike. This is my first bike. What can I get and what can I expect out of it? And everybody just is honest with each other, But I wish I would have known that. I had a bike for years that honestly, somebody just sold me. It was that first Giant.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that first Giant? Did I know you then that I had?
No, sir.
Yeah, I think I had the Trek whenever I met you, didn't I?
Yeah, you had the Trek.
Yeah. But I had a Giant for years that is, and then I started in the woods and I was like, man, I can't imagine starting in the woods on this thing. I was like, whoo, geez, who sold me this?
Going back to that then, with you coming in with limited experience and, thinking that you're wanting to get into it, get out in the woods, well, how did you acquire, say your Trek bike, or what avenues and decisions did you make, for you to be able to get into something that was somewhat reasonable out of the pocketbook to say, hey, I can get out here and actually go do this now?
Well, I started off on a Walmart bike years ago. I think everybody does.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if it's something you enjoy, kind of take it to the next level. But I do think, I remember taking my Walmart bike out onto the trail, and that you just got to be realistic about, that's just not going to work.
You feeling like it's going to rattle apart. Yeah.
No doubt. Yeah. You can't compare riding a bike that was built for that. That's like trying to compare a horseback ride to a four-wheeler.
Well, and, to that point, though, as you continue to get more educated with inside of the environment and, the tools that you can acquire to make the riding experience better and different and even safer in a lot of ways. A lot of people are going to start off on like a hardtail, which is a bike that maybe has a front suspension fork, but doesn't have a rear shock. So, trails are going to be bumpier. It's going to be a little harder, going downhill as far as, overall control and handling. But some people enjoy that type of riding also. But, as you kind of progress through and you kind of upgrade, you end up with different front suspensions, different rear shocks, things like that, with where you're going to make the riding much more smooth, better handling, things like that, which is obviously going to cost you more money as you continue to get into it, just kind of like anything else does, right? It's kind of like you pick up that $100 guitar, that $50 guitar to your point at Walmart or at the music store, and then you start working your way up through and the different tones and sounds and playability and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like that transition.
Golf has a lot of ongoing cost. You have to pay green fees and buy balls and all that stuff. Where I will say, after you buy the bike, it's pretty much over. I mean, you can buy as many trinkets as you want to buy, but if you really just want to buy a bike and a helmet, you can pretty well just start going.
Yeah, absolutely. You absolutely can. And the nice thing too is there's a lot of trail systems. You and I have been down to Bailey's.
Yeah.
You don't have to have some crazy expensive mountain bike to go ride Bailey's trails. There's a lot of rolling hills and a lot of flowy sections. There's a lot of stuff up at Chestnut is the same way. There's a good handful of trails at Great Seal that you're going to be able to ride through those as well. What's that?
Within a 2-hour circumference of you and I's residence.
Oh, I can't even imagine. I don't know the number, but
it's crazy.
If you pinpointed a circle or where we're at and you drew a radius out, 2 hours in any direction, there's got to be 1,000 miles of mountain biking trails that you can choose from, which is cool because you get different terrain. You're out in the woods. You got the camaraderie of your friends when you're out there. You get to spend time, out of the house, away from the television set. You're getting exercise. You're allowing yourself to live through, the creation of what is laid out in front of you. And, every trail is going to be different and give you a different experience, which is incredible in my opinion. I
tell everybody, I feel like a 10-year-old. Because you put your phone away. I mean, I listen to my earbuds, but I put my phone away, and it's just, whenever I'm chasing you, I'm trying not to die. And but I mean, it's fun. But the next thing, we're going to bring you back on the show here in the next, few days or whatever. And I want to talk about, you've introduced us to a guy. What's his name? Brad, right?
His name is Brad Weaver.
Brad Weaver. I saw he gave us a follow, so thank you, Brad. And he is going to be talking about the Ross County Mountain Lions, which are looking to expand, and it's what I would consider a club mountain biking team. Correct?
Yes, it's part of what they call NICA, which is the National Interscholastic Cycling Association. And what it is
we're going to talk about another. That's going to be our next episode.
Pause on that thought, then.
Yeah,
we will carry this on the next one.
That's going to be our next one, Kohler. So hey, look our boy Kohler up at Hills what is it? Hills Before the Hustle. I'm going to start calling you. No. What did I tell you at Christmas? You got mad at me. Adam. No hustle.
You said something Hills. About hills sometimes.
Yeah, he'll sometimes.
Okay, man, dude, it's cold, man. I got to work, man.
Yeah, I don't. I need to get you guys to sign that St. Jude shirt that I got. I keep forgetting it. I want to get everybody, you and Prater and even McVicker, to sign that shirt.
Absolutely.
He did that with us. Was that Thanksgiving? That was the Thanksgiving Eve, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or was that Black Friday? No, what was it?
No, I think it was. I think it was right before Thanksgiving, I believe.
Yes, Thanksgiving Eve. What did we do? Did we do 14 that day?
It was something right close to that, 12 or 14 miles.
Yeah, we finished. That was the day we finished my 60. I think you rode all 60.
Great cause.
Yeah, that was fun. So, all right, Kohler.
Yeah.
Hey, look him up. Hillsbeforethehustle.com. He's got all kinds of mountain bike gear. You can also find out some info, and we'll be in touch next week. Check out our sponsors, too, guys. Check us out on the ChubbyGuysPodcast.com. Later, Kohler.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.